How to start a business and quit your job in 5 steps. Even if you have bad credit, even if you've worked a job for one day or 25 years, doesn't matter what age you are, you too can find a new tomorrow by following these simple steps. More and more of you each day are seeking out the answers and steps on how to quit your job. I'm here to tell you that it can be done in 5 simple steps and in as little as 30 days. You will need to reprogram your mindset and start blocking out the I can'ts and all of the people telling you that this is impossible, and start focusing in on the I can and how you can make this possible today. This is the channel that provides you an all-access pass to everything capital, cash flow, and credit to ensure you have the right financial literacies for business success. Stop saying I'm in a side hustle and start saying I'm open for business. Let's dive in. Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Edward Bilder, millionaire real estate investor, entrepreneur, coach, educator, engineer, dad, whichever you want to call me today. I once had a job. Yeah, I once had a interesting job where I was an engineer for a Fortune 500 company for $80,000, okay, a year. Sounds crazy, right? After having 2 engineering degrees, a master's in engineering, an MBA, executive certificates in business, I had $250,000 in student loan debts, kids to feed, traveling wherever the company told me. If I were to fast forward that to today, now I create my own schedule. I never miss an event for my children or my family, and I would never look back to going back to a regular 40-hour week, 50-hour week, 60-hour week job and trade my time for money ever again. All right, so I did it in these simple steps, 5 simple steps when I was quitting my job, because you will be faced with a lot of anxiety when you're going through this process. And if you dial it all in and stay focused on these 5 simple things, you will overcome your fears and you will never look back either as you walk out the door for the last time, controlling your own time and setting your own schedules, being there with your family, being there with your loved ones, being there with your friends, whoever it is that's motivating you to want to leave that job, and you will never look back by following these steps. Step number 1, find the motivation. I know that sounds extremely trivial, all right? But you need to answer this one question, and that is, why do you want to quit your job? Because once you find that reason is the motivation of why you will quit your job, all right? Maybe it's to spend more time with your family. Maybe it's to never have the fears of being laid off or fired. Maybe it's to, control your own income passively and not ever have a cap on it, because, maybe you could only earn in your position $100,000 a year and you'll never earn anything more than that, right? Unless you own the business yourself, okay? Whatever it is that motivates you. And as trivial as that sounds, you need to write that down and write it down daily. Go out and get yourself a journal or an actions log and write down that every single day, because you need to manifest this for your future. You need to change your mindset, because you need to understand especially what is motivating you to want to quit your job. And you will work at this each and every day in small steps to achieve that goal. This is where you're going to find new purpose in your life and then allow that to motivate you towards new business aspirations. When you use your purpose as your business, you will find joy in everything that you do every single day. I actually found my purpose is helping others. And I started by doing it through consulting. And then later I did it through Airbnbs by being an accommodator. And then later I did it here on YouTube by helping thousands and thousands through EIDL and PPP challenges that they faced throughout the past 2 years. I found that new purpose, and I'm here to tell you that if you look inside yourself, you too will find that purpose, and you can start to change your mind and start to change your mindset towards those new aspirations. Now, I will tell you that the majority of everybody who is near you right now more than likely has a job, okay? We all tend to stick together, and we find other people like ourselves, and we all stick together. We cluster together. So everybody around you right now has a job. And what happens when you get around these individuals and you start telling them that you have plans to quit your job and start a business? You start to get a lot of the good luck with that and a lot of the how you gonnas, right? How you gonna pay your bills? How you gonna pay for your food? How you gonna pay for your mortgage? How you gonna pay for your car payment? How you gonna pay for your cell bill? How you gonna feed your kids? How you gonna clothe your kids? Right? All of these things come up. How you gonna pay for gas? Which brings us to step number 2, and that is to have a plan. That's right. In order to quit your job, you need a plan. I know, again, very trivial, but this plan includes exactly how much cash you need each and every month for the basic necessities. You need to write this number down each and every day in your journal, and you need to check your bank accounts each and every day to make sure that you are sticking to this goal. Now is the time to tighten it up. Okay, stop all the subscriptions that you've had forgotten about all these years. Focus in on food, shelter, utilities, and minimum payments if you have any lines of credit out there. Focus on those things only. See, part of this plan is you got to start to understand how you will replace that revenue for the minimum amount of money that you need each month, and then additional money so that you could focus in on growing your business, and additional money so you could live comfortably, right? I say comfortably. Don't go overboard with your non-essentials, but keep it comfortable and you will be very successful in this. When I was doing this for the first time, I put all of my expenses inside of an Excel spreadsheet and I carried those as a negative balance each month. So if I were to spend $1,000 on all of my essentials, that was a negative $1,000 each month, month over month. I would then have a line item for all of the revenue that was inbound. In this case, it was in the form of income. And that carried through as positive each and every month, and I would have a net balance at the bottom, right? My goal each and every month was to grow my net balance by deducting things that I did not need and turning on new additional revenue streams until I could start to balance it out and remove the needs for an income from a W-2 job. Once you start to gain momentum behind this and you start to recognize your numbers each and every day, you will be even more motivated to turn off that W-2 and replace it with new revenue streams from your business. Which brings us to step number 3, and that is to start a business. Remember, if you're going to replace that W-2 with new income, it has to be through revenue from a business. Now, I say start a business, not a side hustle. Start saying that you are open for business, because when you open for business, you are open to a world of opportunities, okay? When you actually start a side hustle and you start trading your time for money, you might find yourself transitioning to like an Uber position or a DoorDash type of individual, and you'll be constantly trading your time for money. You have basically just turned yourself from a job to now a service. You want to actually open a business, a legitimate business, so that you could remove yourself from that time and have the money generate on its own. Create a system where the money will constantly flow into you through cash flow, and you don't necessarily have to trade your time for that money. Now, I'm not a CPA, so I can't necessarily give you the best business structure, but you can simply go through the process of either starting a limited liability company or a corporation. No matter which one you start, you will need to register that with your state secretary. Now, don't just stop here. Once you get your business, make sure you get yourself a business phone number, a business domain, and a business email under that business domain. These things are very important because you're going to need to start establishing yourself as a business. And when you're searching for your domain name, here's a little tip. Simultaneously search out your corporation name and your domain name. That way you can keep those two things lined up, okay? It doesn't just stop here at registering with your state secretary. You need to actually go to the irs.gov and register for an EIN number. That's an employer identification number. And this is what banks will use to officially declare you as having your doors open. Okay, we're still not done yet. Once you have your EIN number, now you should go register for a business bank account. And if I were opening a business bank account today, I wouldn't necessarily focus in on like the big banks like Wells Fargo or Bank of America. I would actually focus in on the credit unions. They are more friendly to startups or local branch banks who want to support the local economy. Remember, you are the local economy. So find some smaller branch banks that are in your area. They actually get paid to lend out money to small business and startups just like yourself, all right? The reason they take in money, they 9 times against that money to business startups just like yourself, and put that money right back into the local economy. So that's really the best place to open. You see big banks like Wells Fargo, they lend to big business, and it's much harder to get business startups if you're going to walk in the door and open a bank account with them for the first time. And while you're still registering for things, make sure you go out and register for a DUNS number, DUNS number. This is actually a Dun and Bradstreet number, and it's going to help you start establishing business credit. It's really important to remember this step, okay? Don't skip the Dun and Bradstreet registry. Which brings us to step number 4, focus, 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 okay? Remember, you still have a job at this point. We have not officially quit our job yet. So yes, you're going to need to put in some hard work in these first few weeks as you're starting to transition, because you're running a job and you're starting a business, and it's going to consume a lot of your time. And if you lose focus, you will go off track and you will never quit your job. Stop watching Netflix, stop watching Hulu, stop lounging around. And if you're reading something, make sure that it is related to your business. Once you start to channel your mind into understanding what revenue generating activities are, each and every day you need to focus on those revenue generating activities. You're going to need to build client base no matter what business you're in. If you're selling a good or a service, you have to sell it to somebody, right? Okay? So no matter what, you need to focus in on how you're going to start generating client base and generating leads. Social media is a great platform to get this done. Each day, your revenue generating activities may be to post on social media. Maybe you're going to post into LinkedIn, maybe you're going to post into Instagram, or maybe you're posting into Facebook, whatever that may be. Or maybe you already have leads from previous posts, and your new generating activity today is to private message those individuals and ask them if there's anything that you could do for them today, right? You're going to need to start asking questions and delivering value to people for free initially, okay? It's very important. When you give for free, eventually it comes back around full circle into reciprocity, and you will start to see revenue coming in your direction. Trust me, this works. I know it for a fact. Posting calls to action might be an everyday revenue generating activity. Maybe other revenue generating activities are building out your website, or building out your landing pages, or building out some place to capture transactions, right? Maybe it's a PayPal, or maybe it's a Square account. Focus in on making sure that those things are in place for revenue generating activities, all right? I can't say that enough. Now, once you understand what your revenue generating activities are and you start writing them down in your logbook, or if you're using Excel, you want to focus in on activities that you can count. Let's say you posted one time in social media and it brought you 100 views. That means you could count that 100 times when somebody looked at your call to action. Now, count how many times you got a lead from that specific call to action. Once you start to understand this conversion rate from each lead, you could create the levers each day as to which exact revenue generating activity is most important to bring that full circle reciprocity to keep bringing leads in and keep generating more and more revenue. All right. I hope that makes sense. Once you start to understand this, you will start to realize that you're building metrics towards your goals. Which brings us to step number 5, and this is to build business credit. Now, everything we've done thus far is to lead us towards this current point, okay? Because remember, I said in the beginning, we could quit our jobs even if we have bad credit. We might have poor credit practices right now because we're stuck in that situation where we have to keep using our credit and our utilizations to drive our business or drive our daily motivations, right? But if we start to go away from those things, cut the fat, trim it out, transition into business credit, everything will start to improve. So everything we've done up until this point leads us to this moment, okay? We understand what motivates us and we know how to voice it. We have a clear plan and we know exactly how much money we need to survive and how much money we need to be comfortable. We've started a legitimate business and we've started running transactions. We are focused in on revenue generating activities, we're focused in on leads, and we understand our metrics so that we can now generate a plan inside of our business credit applications. Because what we need to do is we need to start injecting funds into our startup. We need to inject funds into our new business so that we can propel ourselves forward. So we don't have to wait for all the revenue to come in to quit that job, right? We don't have to wait for all the revenue to come in to grow that business. We could actually jump a few steps ahead by having some established business credit, okay? And you can do this even if you have bad credit. These two credit reporting agencies, your personal and your business credit, they are separate. They're completely separate. So if you follow those 5 steps, you will find yourself starting a business and quitting your job, even with bad credit. Doesn't matter what your age is, and it doesn't matter if you work that job for 1 day or 25 years. Everybody, here is a little bonus tip for you all, and this is to start a countdown, okay? Set a date to quit your job, because you're going to need to remind yourself of that every day. If it's 45 days away, all of the steps 1 through 4, you need to start practicing each and every day leading up to those 45 days, because on day 45, you will quit your job. Now, don't tell your boss, hey, I'm going to quit in 45 days. No, do the standard 2 weeks, okay? You don't want to necessarily have them say, all right, well, just go today. Okay? Set that date, 45 days, 60 days, 90 days, however many days you need and feel comfortable with, and start a countdown. Each and every day, it's 1 day less. There's only 44 days left. There's only 43 days left. There's only 42 days left. There's only 41 days left. And you will start to believe in yourself, reduce your anxieties, and focus in on what your goal is, and that is quitting your job and starting a business. I hope you all enjoyed the video today. If you guys need my assistance starting your business, find me in the description by joining the email list. And if you'd like to focus in on starting an Airbnb business, in the description, you can find my crash course on Airbnb, where you could get into the real estate game for as little as $50. Start cash flowing in 3 business days through Airbnb, earning an extra $5,000 to $10,000 each and every month. This process is very scalable. You just simply repeat it over and over again once your systems are in place, and grow and scale as large as you wish. You can turn that $5,000 into $50,000 a month, okay? It's very easy to do this, and you can scale quickly, all right? If you guys would like to set up a coaching session with me, find me in the description through that email list, okay? I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. I hope you guys take the actions today and get out there and change your futures. I will catch you all in the next one. Bye for now.